This home is ours.
This is how it begins, with one family. They came from someplace worse. We'll have to make this place worse. What's worse than worse?
Heard them folks in Compton straight up evil, man.
Fuck this.
My name is Kia Henley, and I'm with Hollywood Melanin, and it's a pleasure having you with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to start. We have a very brief time. I just want you to tell me a little bit about the series Them and your role, Ruby Emery.
Yeah, well, I'm in the show Them, Covenant, and it's a horror anthology series that takes place in the Jim Crow era, and I play Ruby Lee Emery, a very, very smart girl who is first getting into high school and has to deal with the struggles of mental health and racism all through figuring out her adolescent years.
Oh my goodness. My, oh my. So what would you say you did to prepare for this role?
Well, I already had a decent amount of information just about what our people were going through during that time. But I did do a lot of research about, just talking about like the covenants back in Compton. I didn't know much about those. And I also didn't know that Compton used to be a predominantly white neighborhood. So I had to do a lot of research on that. But it was like an immersive history lesson. It was a lot of fun.
I love it. I absolutely love it. What would be one thing that you would tell viewers that you learned about playing the character Ruby Emery in Them?
Let me see. I think that I have most definitely grown as an actor just from the experience, just because she had to endure so much as a character that you kind of take that on yourself as an actor. But I've most definitely learned more about the character actor relationship during the process of filming, because it was really, really tough at times, because I would be finished shooting a scene and I would still feel the way that Ruby was feeling, like you take that on yourself. So you really do learn that you have to figure out different ways to unwind after shooting, have to figure out, just because it's really going to be best. It's crucial for your mental health as an actor, not even just like as a person, as an actor. Yeah.
Absolutely. Self-care is so important, right?
Yeah,
Even
it is.
After shooting. What would you say, Shahadi, are similarities or differences between Shahadi and Ruby Emery?
Well, some similarities. We are both in high school, going through high school for the first time.
Yeah.
And we both really do understand just that awkward feeling of just really trying to fit in, of just trying to fit in and, be friends with everyone and not be attacked, on your first days of school. We most definitely differ in our experiences, because her experience in high school was probably way more horrific than mine. She goes through all of that, and she really, I really do feel for her, just because of what she had to endure, and she just felt like she literally could not do anything about it. That feeling of being helpless in a place where nobody wants you there, and they make it very, very apparent. It probably is like torture every single day of your high school career. So I can imagine how tough that could be for her.
Oh my goodness. I couldn't agree with you more. So I've noticed that in your career, you've done lots of horror, right? Just horror, the horror genre is kind of up your alley, your kind of sweet spot. Are you going to continue to explore that, or what's in store for you next?
After this project, I would probably not want to do horror for a little bit, just because I don't want to be like stuck in that genre, because I do have range and I can do more than that. Right. And I don't want to be just known as like a horror actor, especially because it's just it has such a specific audience as well. And, you want to, as an actor, you want to, meet all audiences.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic. So I feel like I would probably want to do something like a drama or like a coming of age story next, something a little bit different, something with a different audience to it.
Absolutely. What would you say, Shahadi, really attracted you to this role? What made you want to be a part of this particular project?
Well, I think what really made me attracted to it was that I would watch it myself. I feel like that's probably like my favorite part of getting to be a part of this project, was getting to watch like the final product and everything. Like I was literally just like binging all of the episodes, just because I love it. I love the project myself. And I feel like when I first read My Sides when I was auditioning for the role, I was immediately attracted to it because I heard that it was going to be a horror series that takes place in the 1950s, and I was like, this is going to be crazy. This is going to be insane. So I had to kind of like mentally prepare myself for that, just going through it, which was a lot of fun. But we had such a great time on set, and I'm so glad that people finally get the chance to see it.
Oh my goodness. I'm sure audiences across the nation, across the world can't wait to see you, right? What would you say to people like me who are not necessarily interested or like fans of the horror genre?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say? What would you say to them about opening their lenses to view this series in a different light?
Yeah. Well, when it comes to horror in general, I feel like I love it just because I get such an adrenaline rush out of it, and I think that's why I love watching it. But when it comes to this series in particular, I guess that I would say that I would try to think of it as more of like a form of education as well, in a way that you're going to kind of comprehend it a little bit more. And I just love what Little Marvin and Lena Waithe have done with this story that they've created, and they took it from real experiences. So it just feels really deep, just to watch. And I feel like a lot of Black people in particular are really going to relate to this.
I couldn't agree with you more on that. So where can we see it on April 9th? And what are your final parting words for anyone watching this interview?
Hey, well, you can watch it on Amazon Prime starting April 9th. And I am so excited for everybody to see it. And thank you so much for supporting me.
Thank you for joining us. We love you, and we can't wait to see you in this series then.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, take care.
Bye.